What is going on, you guys? Welcome to One of Each, the Dumb and Hungry podcast, where we talk about our food adventures and our favorite food groups. I'm Angelo, the Dumb and Hungry.
And I'm Mychall.
And thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing all right. Mychall, we're back again. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just still happy about the whole taste bud thing.
Yes.
Other than that, yeah, it's great.
Enjoying the sense of freedom, it seems.
I don't know about freedom, but joy for sure.
Okay. Yes, you are overjoyed. And so
Yes.
are all your taste buds. They thank you. Thankfully, your body, you were under the 95% or so, I guess, that...
For real.
So, good. I know we talked recently about a lot of good places that we've been to and that we've eaten. And I think you guys can check that out in the previous episode that we have here. And we'll just continue to share more and keep checking with each other and how we're doing. But hope you guys out there are doing all right as well. But speaking of what we're talking about food. That's what we do. So we want to thank you again for joining us. And we talk about more food. So a lot of our food adventures, about our local spots and pop-ups and everything, with good food and good people that we come along the way. So today it's actually kind of a little bonus episode we got for you, a little off the beaten path. But we wanted to kind of bring this up and kind of share a little bit. We kind of did something like this not too long ago with a good group of friends of ours. But we wanted to remember a good friend of ours who's no longer with us. His name is Patrick, or we call him Patty. However you call him, he was just a real good guy and someone you could really laugh with and count to be a good friend. So we definitely wanted to do kind of stuff like this to remember him, and also to remember some of the a lot of food places that adventures that we'd have, at least he and I would go to. Mychall also have some part of that too, but it's interesting because I personally didn't plan it this way, but I guess the way our schedule worked out, and we're able to record on this day, October 25th, which happens to be his birthday. Isn't that great? That's pretty interesting. So I'm glad it worked out kind of that way, so we can kind of talk and just remember, But Mychall, you got anything? Any just kind of memories or anything interesting you remember about him?
Yeah, I mean, it's not food related, but just I remember out of high school, you guys were out of high school, since I'm a year after.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys were doing. I don't think I ever would have got as been into PC gaming without Patrick, just because you guys were talking about. It was Left 4 Dead. That's actually
Zombies.
the first Steam game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was the first Steam game I ever bought. But also just in general, there was the LAN parties that we had at his place with the either Halo or Gears of War, and honestly, I just miss doing stuff like that. Those were a lot of good times.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, he had his own. He obviously with his parents, his house there in K-Town, and he has room in the back. And you enter the room, you have like this kind of smallish TV on the side, and then you had like this kind of small desk next to it where he had his so-called open air computer.
That was later on, but yeah.
Oh man. It's basically just the hardware without the case on there. It's case. But it promoted good airflow.
Oh yeah, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, but on the TV we'd play all sorts of games, all console, PC games, whatever. Hook up to it.
Yeah. Well, and also it is around Halloween time. He was a very avid fan of horror movies.
Don't remind me that. Although that's probably one of the memories that I have.
That's right.
Definitely something that I was not a fan of, okay? That's the memory I get to hold on to, being scared. Oh, my God. Okay.
It was a great memory for me.
I bet. I mean, I remember, we would go, like, there are times when we go to, out there in Queen Mary, right? They have those.
Dark Harbor.
Dark Harbor, yes, thank you. And, man, I hated that so much. Just so
Patrick loved those.
He did. I think just as much he loved seeing me scared
Yeah,
Uh,
you and Cito for sure.
oh, I know. Yes, Chris and I were just very sensitive ones, and it was not a fun time for us. Um, but that if that's what I have to hold on to that memory, I guess I'll take it. Shoot, whatever. Maybe that's why I gravitate to food then in this case. But yeah, yeah, it was fun. And Patrick would, whenever we before he entered his room, he'd always tell us, wait here," because he had to like clear the mountain of clothes or
Laundry, yeah.
whatever, laundry,
I remember
move it
that.
off the couch or something. I mean, it's still there on the floor
Or on his bed.
or on his bed, but at least now you can sit somewhere. So yeah, that's fine. Thanks. But yeah, those were fun. Yeah, I mean, and then we would we'd go out to eat, right? We just have a little break and hit up whatever it was. I mean, we used to go to McDonald's a lot,
Yeah.
right? I remember like even late night, sometimes we drive all the way out this particular McDonald's that's like in mid city, like on La Brea, like going
Mhm.
south, and there's a McDonald's there,
I
and
remember that
I
one.
remember that, and we get like the egg McMuffin over there or whatever.
When McDonald's first started doing breakfast
At
all
night or
day.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so he would get that, or we would get that too. I mean, it was just something that we kind of remember.
Yeah.
Um, but
I mean, also that was like peak McDonald's app time, if I remember correctly.
for him,
Just in general, like that's when the
maybe,
deals were still pretty good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The app was still making its way around. I don't remember if I did too much on the app with him,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of deals to be had. I'll put it that way, you know. But between that and like Carl's Jr. too, and
Little
uh,
Caesars.
yeah, Caesar, yeah. But we would there's a lot to to remember. Yeah, Patrick was a good friend that we knew through high school and even after. Again, a lot of us didn't leave LA or didn't go too far after high school, and so we still get to keep in touch and hang out and everything. And so I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Yeah, it's too bad, we just have a lot of good times to remember him, and so hopefully that's what we continue to do. Um, that's how we keep him alive. But yeah, but as far as other places to remember, remember we're here for the food, so we're gonna keep talking about some of the food that we've had. When I think about it, I was even looking through a list of things that I had put together, places that we had been, or places that he had taken us to. And I was thinking, again, at that time, we weren't on like Instagram or social media or whatever really that much. We were just, going on Yelp or, Google Maps or something, just seeing what's close by. But yeah, for
Yeah.
the places that he found, it's like, yeah, these were pretty good spots, spots that would continue to hang around and people that people would enjoy for a long time. So, um, cool. But today we're gonna highlight a couple places that we definitely remember, and I think these two places particularly um, are kind of really highlight the kind of food that Patrick enjoyed and that you would probably remember him for if you did know him. McDonald and things, fast food aside.
Yeah.
But these places, I think, have really become, were or still are, beloved LA spots. The first of which is Booze Philly cheesesteak. So that Booze Philly is, as the name is in the name, is a Philly cheesesteak spot. So I, to be honest, outside of booze, I know there are, I mean, they definitely exist in LA, but I really still am not familiar with that landscape of like what exactly is out there for Philly cheesesteaks. This is the
Hmm.
spot that I know, and this would be my go-to. Actually, we briefly talked about this, right?
Last
From
night, whatever. Yeah.
Jammer's episode. This was one of her five in mind, And I was pleasantly surprised to hear about that, because this is definitely a place that we remember too, and that we highly
Yeah.
enjoy and respect. So it's interesting. It's a Korean family from Philly, I believe, and that moved out here to LA, and they serve up, you know, probably what is authentic or traditional Philly cheesesteak. You know, it's a pretty interesting, you know, kind of story there. But this is what they have. And Mychall, I mean, what are your thoughts, I guess, really on the spot or in cheesesteaks or whatever? I mean,
It's been a while since I've been there, honestly.
mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize there were only two in LA, and they're
Booze.
both so close. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they're both so close to me. But I think if I remember correctly, the pizza cheesesteak, I think is
Oh
one of
my
their
gosh,
menu
pizza
items.
cheesesteak. Is that still
Is
around?
I think that's what that first picture was, is it not?
Um,
Oh no, it's not. Never mind. I don't know. That sounds familiar, but
you know, I do remember what you're saying. It was legit, like almost like a pizza.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, there are cheesesteaks here that use pepperoni, but those are more of the hoagies, like the cold sandwiches.
Mm,
But I do remember there was a really cheesy, you know, that pepperoni,
yeah.
you know, almost pizza like cheesesteak. We are kind of getting, yeah. I mean, we're jumping ahead here as far as the menu goes, but yeah, that was definitely something that I remember as well. You
Yeah,
know,
I think that was my go-to.
yeah, yeah. I I'm there with you, to be honest. Now that you're kind of bringing that up there. But yeah, as far as the menu goes, you got the signature booze cheesesteak, which is usually a thinly sliced, you know, meat with grilled onions and cheese on a Philly roll. And I think traditionally it's like on this Amoroso roll. Now, Jammers has shared that she puts provolone on there. That's her choice
Oh yeah,
cheese.
that's right.
But
She doesn't like the whiz.
the whiz. But I, you know, I think ever since, you know, even the first time that we had gone, I think I always choose whiz. And I
Really?
think that was really only because, oh, it's a cheesesteak. I mean, like, it's a Philly cheesesteak. It's like, that's signature or whatever. Like, that's what you need to get. You know what I mean? You're like,
Okay.
no, I
Is
don't know what you're
it?
talking about.
Is that the traditional go-to
I'm
cheese
going to
for
say
Philly
yes.
cheesesteaks?
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
We got no one here to fact check me right now. But I feel that's the move. A booze Philly with whiz. They
Okay.
also they also have like this mushroom cheesesteak. Jammer talked about that too, with like these simple button mushrooms or whatever. But I also remember the sweet pepper cheesesteak, which has the bell peppers basically. Add a little sweetness in there, which was pretty cool. I think, you know, they also had chicken, which I didn't really try, but I also had the hoagies. And
Hmm.
I remember there was a hoagie that was, you know, it's a cold sandwich, but it was a hoagie, but also had like the cheesesteak in there. I don't
Hmm.
remember what the name of
Okay.
that one was, but yeah, I remember like, oh, it has everything. Yeah, I need that. So, but yeah, they've got those two locations, right? There's the one in East Hollywood on Virgil. That's the OG.
Hmm.
That's the one that we would go to back in the day. But then they also had the second location in K Town, right on Wilshire. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually next
Wilshire and
to.
Alexandria.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
85 degrees.
yes, next.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yep, and that's in that small plaza there. That's also where the
That's good.
Honeymee is too, right?
Yes. Upstairs is the Honeymee.
Yeah, thank you. So,
And I think Boiling Crab was there. I don't know if it still is, but there was a
yeah,
Boiling
there
Crab
was
there.
mm-hmm. So it was pretty good. That was actually the plaza, I think. This is getting off topic, but that was the plaza I had ended up with when I thought we were meeting at Waco.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a totally different story, unrelated story, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I remember
it
that.
was the other Waco, okay?
Yes. 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 Also on Wilshire, to be fair.
Exactly. So, but people who remember that won't let me live it down.
I mean, that's a common thing with you, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Going to the
does.
wrong
Getting
spot.
getting lost and yeah, of course. Yeah, nothing new there.
Anaheim.
Yep. John, you're listening to this, right? You should know. But you know, at booze, you know, you had tables inside. You had a lot of seating outside. It was a nice street corner location. It was really really cool, and it was in this kind of A-frame shaped building. So kind of really good, kind of nice vibe in there. But yeah, booze, cheesesteaks, definitely a food that I know Patrick. I would remember Patrick for. He'd love his cheesesteaks, and we would get that. We get with fries and soda, and yeah, we just enjoy that together. Again, we didn't really know any better. I mean, we just knew that this was good. This was tasty. It was meat, meat and cheese. Yeah. So that was the way to go. So yeah, booze, definitely, if you haven't tried them out, please do so. I mean, I'm glad they also, I guess, worked through the pandemic and they were able to kind of work it through. So that was pretty cool. So now moving on to this other spot, this spot is, or I guess I'd have to talk about it in the past tense. Yeah, it was a signature LA spot, I believe. And this place is Chego. And Chego, as if you don't know, is a restaurant in Chinatown, or was a restaurant in Chinatown, founded by the great Roy Choi of Kogi fame. And he brought this over as a way to, again, like Kogi, kind of like a love letter to LA about, having Asian flavors and kind of that kind of cultural cuisine, and but paired with LA traditions and LA flair.
It's a really old video, isn't it?
It's pretty classic. I'll put it that way.
I didn't see a line wrapped around those tables.
I see. Yes, this was definitely a different era. We'll get into that a little bit. But I wanted to freeze here on this frame because this kind of summarizes a lot of the signature dishes that, that we would have. And these are rice bowls that, were cooked up by Chef Roy Choi. And again, just pairs the Asian, a lot of Asian influences, but you see some LA kind of in there too. But definitely for those who are, listening, we have a set of 4 dishes in this screenshot here. The first of which is the chubby pork belly. As the name implies, it's pork belly, fatty, very fatty, but was a very, very nice, satisfying bite with there's some like greens in there and vegetables that kind of bring a little acidity and freshness to the fatty pork belly. And then to the bottom of that is the sour cream hen house, which is a chicken dish, but they had this kind of sauce on there, almost like a sambal sauce, very creamy, but very good chicken dish. We probably wouldn't get that as often because it was it's chicken, and chicken is a vegetable, and but the other one here, I'll bring it up. I remember seeing it here on the Instagram too. This dish here is probably pretty iconic, I think, for a lot of us.
Hell yeah!
These are the ooey gooey fries, and so these are very crispy fries, but laid on top of them, you got cheese, melted cheese on there, but then also this sauce. I think they call it the ooey gooey sauce. I don't quite know. Someone needs to fact check me, but I don't know. But these were definitely, you pair the ooey gooey fries with chubby pork belly, and you got yourself a feast. That was the move, honestly, to get. And this was funny because I remember, like, whether it was booze or anywhere we would go, so I would typically go to his place, Patrick's place, whether he or I was driving, but we would go there. And, I just kind of pull up and say, hey, are you home? Are you home?
It's your first question.
Yeah.
Like, if he's not there, you're screwed.
Yeah, but thankfully he was most of the time. And say, yeah, you should come out now. We're going to eat. So
Kidnapping. You
Well,
always kidnap the
it's
man.
not kidnapping if there's consent, right? If he
It is, and
agrees.
there's Stockholm
But you
syndrome
think it was
involved.
like false pretenses or something,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's coercion.
but I think it's for a good cause. So from there, from Cape Town, we drive to Chinatown, and we go to Far East Plaza, and we go there usually in the evening, because obviously we're working or whatever, so we go there after work, and the Far East Plaza at that time is nothing like it is now. It's so popular now, so busy, and which is awesome. But back then, it was just you got a handful of Chinese restaurants and small shops there, and you have Chego, in this unsuspecting plaza, and so in the evening it's like kind of dark, it's empty. The only thing that would give it life are the little kid rides on there that would like light up or,
Yes.
or make noise every so often. Um, but we would order our gooey fries and our pork belly, and then we would take it and sit at the benches outside, the wood benches, and just kind of the slightly dimly lit, eating space, and we would just chow down. I mean, it was just we were hungry. Maybe not. I mean, we would just eat. I mean, that's it was kind of funny too, because like sometimes we would leave and like his sister Angela's like, "You have food here. Why are you leaving?" It's like, "Where are you going?" And then we
The
just like,
problem is you showed up randomly
yeah,
without any prior notice.
yeah, but maybe it was an excuse for Patrick to just like get out of there.
Yeah.
It was a good time, but yeah, that Chego is again, we have to talk about it in the past tense because unfortunately it's no longer there. In that space though is still an excellent spot. There is Amboy
Oh.
burgers
Oh
from
yeah.
Chef Alvin Kylon. Definitely one of LA's faves burgers. So it was definitely succeeded in a very good way. And it's not like Chef Roy Choi's going anywhere. He's just as popular and around as ever. I mean, Koki's still strong, got all the trucks there, and that's still going on. There's a particular truck on the west side on Palms, which we need to visit and kind of do some research there because, if I'm not mistaken, some spiritual successor of at least one of these dishes might still be around.
Oh, really?
Again, no research done yet, but we need to
Okay.
kind of look at that. But Chego, it's definitely one of those places as well that we would remember very fondly. We wanted to go back to those ooey gooey fries because, again, as you mentioned, Mychall, back back in the day, that plaza was empty, right? But come around 2016 or so, a particular tenant moved into that space and changed everything.
Yes, yes, it did.
And we're talking about that spot, Howlin' Rays. And so, as for those who might be in the know, Howlin' Rays had lines, just out through the streets, out on the corner.
Yeah.
We had that was the time when we would do our share of waiting in line. That whole line culture thing, just waiting for hours for a good piece of hot chicken. I still think I look back and I still think it was worth it, to go there, and
It was
wait.
good times.
And, it was good times, good vibes.
Except you always went alone, or you went alone a lot.
Yeah, because no one would dare to. I mean, no one would bother to endure the line like that.
Yeah.
It's just I was just crazy enough to do something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, when we did a group thing there, it was always fun.
Yeah, but I mentioned it too because my show.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to mention that, or maybe you'd have a better idea. What would happen while we would wait in line, or what we would observe.
Yeah, I mean those lines are long as hell always,
Mm-hmm.
and people get hungry because some people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
you do? Chego is right across the way, and it's the direction the line is going. You pass by Chego, you can order there a little snack, and then continue your hours long wait. And then after Chego, scoops right next to it.
Exactly.
Get a little ice cream, and then
exactly. Mm-hmm.
pass the time by.
Yep. That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, what way to better support fellow businesses, you know, than than waiting several hours in line for one restaurant and then trying other bites along the way. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty good. You know, a little tasting menu. Yeah, that was a good point. Not just Chego, but Scoops is there too.
Yeah.
There's also a coffee spot there, Endorphin, which
Tenrens is there.
Tenrin is there. That's right. Um, yeah, so
Lhasa still there?
Lasa's still there. They are renamed as La Cita, I believe,
Okay.
these days. But yeah, I mean, just a lot of great spots to in that plaza, the Far East Plaza in Chinatown. But Chego definitely, I just like Roycho himself, just kind of a very forward thinking, kind of ahead of the time kind of deal. And it's a spot that, just like Patrick, we will miss very dearly. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to kind of talk about, things like these. Even though for those listening or watching, of course you may not have known Patrick, obviously, but there's someone that you do remember, someone that still, brought you joy, someone that, gave you good memories, and someone, you could have, you could depend on, as a good friend. So we just want to say that, again, we miss you, and, we're still thinking of you, and to his family as well. We send our love and everything. Think about all of you every day. So hopefully, as we continue to kind of put these together, there are definitely other spots that we'll talk about, that we can thank Patrick for, and kind of leading the way in our culinary adventures. So definitely more to come. But with that said, yeah, I think we've come to the end of yet another episode. But thanks again. Yep, it wasn't that long. Not as verbose.
It's a good bite-sized episode.
I think so. And but just like with this and with many others, we're excited to bring you more of our food adventures. Good food, good people. But make sure you reach out. We're here. I'm here on Instagram at Dumb and Hungry. Jump on the chat when you find us streaming on YouTube. But otherwise, you can find the audio wherever fine podcasts are served. But until next time, I'm Angelo.
I'm Mychall.
And in your next food adventure, remember to try one of each.